Hey everyone, this is Aaron Fink from Grapple City Rewind. If you like what you hear on this episode, just wanted to remind you all that we have a back catalog of 40 plus episodes. We talk old wrestling pay-per-views so it never goes out of style, and we'd love to have you listen. All right, cue that music.
Hello and welcome, Grapple City Rewind, taking you all the way back to the iconic pay-per-views that shaped professional wrestling history. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 367 pounds, I gained a few pounds, the tag team of myself, Big Time Bradley Palermo, and his tag team partner, Aaron, the Thinking Man Fink. This episode,
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, there you go.
on this episode of Grapple City Rewind, we will be rewinding to WrestleMania 10. It's the WrestleMania come down episode, y'all. We just got back from Vegas seeing WrestleMania 40. What was it? 42? Yeah. Yes,
It was.
He gives me the thumbs up. But we're gonna go back today. We're gonna talk a little bit about our experiences this past weekend. Then we're gonna go into the rewind where we're gonna look at WrestleMania 10, which was back in 1994. It's gonna be 9 matches, 2 Intercontinental Champions who both believe they are the real champion, 1 ladder to prove it, 2 Bret Hart matches in one night, because 1 beating isn't enough for Mr. Hart, 2 Yokozuna matches in one night, because gravity demands sacrifice, 1 Hart brother snapping and taking what he's owed, getting out of that shadow, 1 Lex Luger push quietly dying in real time in front of our eyes, 1 fake Bill Clinton wandering through the wreckage,
Oh, God.
a handful of celebrities pretending this entire thing is all normal, and a company insisting that it's a new era when it's in fact just the fucking middle of the new generation era. Is it good? Is it really good? Does it suck? We will decide as we sift through the old VHS archive of WrestleMania, landing on this particular WrestleMania 10. And then we'll stop talking about WrestleMania probably for about a year. So buckle up, get ready for one last WrestleMania show. But first, we like to talk a little bit of current product. And before we talk about our experience, Aaron, of you and I, we went to different days of WrestleMania, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what we thought about that show. But I just wanted to get into the releases. This time of year, WWE does some call-ups from NXT to the main roster. They also do some releases, and it can always be like, it's always a little sad.
A little sad, yeah.
Sometimes I'm happy to see get rid of a couple people, but like a lot of times it's like, it's a bummer. Some of these people I've been, having a parasocial relationship with for fucking 7 years, and now they're gone. Now I got to go find them in a VFW hall. So what do we got for releases?
A lot. I have the full list that I guess has been updated semi-recently. So let's see. We've got Alba Fire. A little disappointing just because her thing with Chelsea was working, being Chelsea's secret Hervis. I mean, I get that Alba wasn't really being used for much else, so I understand. But I don't think that's her fault. It's not like she's bad, they didn't have anything for her.
I remember her like in NXT and stuff, and
yeah.
She came up good. All right, but
I'll group the next one with his spouse, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega. This was also kind of a weird one because he just came back to WWE a year ago. Zelina's been there for a while, I think, or maybe she had gone and then come back or something.
She was released, I believe, in the pandemic, and I believe rehired later in the pandemic.
Yeah.
She was gone in like 2020, and she came back around 2021. So
got it.
She'll probably be back again.
So Zelina as a wrestler, personally not my favorite. I thought that the idea of pairing her with Alistair was a good idea, and it seemed like that was it certainly wasn't failing, but they weren't getting a lot of time to develop it. So like I thought it was fine, but yeah, this was another surprise for me.
I feel like I like Selena. I like that she's really tiny and does kind of the luchadora thing. I liked her, like, I don't know, but it all just falls flat in that mid card. Like, I liked her in like the LWO and kind of with Rey Mysterio and stuff
Mm-hmm.
for a minute. I feel like her husband, he's like a black hole of charisma. Like, I feel like he doesn't really shine in personality. He looks kind of cool and he does sort of like the karate type stuff, like lots of kicks and
Mm-hmm.
but like I feel like on mic and like on promo and like him trying to be all spooky, like him and his wife are an odd couple, kind of like they don't really look both kind of spooky. She looks kind of like like luchador type shit. He looks like the maddest goth guy, but like so middle aged that you don't take it seriously. Like he's never connected for me.
Mm.
I'd like to see her back. I don't really need him, but what else do we got?
I think for me, I think for me, really quick on Alistair, I like him because of what he was able to do in Black and Gold NXT. And I know that you haven't really watched a lot of that. So maybe when we do some bonus episodes, I'll pick an Alistair Black match. Because, to be fair, NXT crowd was basically like the AEW crowd before AEW existed. So like they were always going to be loud and cheer and stuff, but I don't know. I thought he had a good run there, so
Yeah,
like it worked. It just didn't work on the main roster.
and everything I do see NXT Black and Gold. I mean, I wasn't watching at the time like you were, but I've texted you most of the time. Anytime I actually go through takeovers, and like it's fucking banging. Like it's all really, really good. So
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I just think that like I think in ring there's no problem. Like I'd love to see the guy wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like really like kind of like a downer on the when he tries to do like a promo or his faces, his mannerisms and stuff. Well, whatever. I've kind of
Yeah.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but
I'll continue going down the list, I guess. Andre Chase from NXT, Apollo Crews, Bo Dallas, and the entirety of the Wyatt Six.
I mean, dude, they just had a fucking like haunted like WWE haunted house in Universal I went to this last fall, and it was all Wyatt Six, but like Wyatt Six does. I mean, I don't know if I blame them, but that shit does suck. Like, you don't want to see him Wyatt Six on the coming to the ring. Like, that's not fun.
Yeah, it's I mean, them coming to the ring is the coolest part, right? I think it's just like there was a disconnect between the videos, the promos, the presentation, and then them wrestling. Like,
right, what actually happens when the bell rings sucks. I correct myself, but yeah.
Yeah. So, again, like they were sort of put in an impossible position. And I know that they probably, I assume that they wanted to do this to pay homage to Bray and to keep his thing going. And they did. And it was a very cool, I remember when they all were revealed for the first time. Like that was a very cool thing and a very cool moment. It just didn't really go anywhere. It kind of fizzled out. So a bummer for sure.
But Nikki, because when I was getting back into it during the pandemic, Nikki Cross, Nikki Ash for a minute. I know these gimmicks are kind of shitty. They don't know what to do with her and stuff.
But she made it work, right?
But like, I think she ran with it all. Like, I feel like she made like what do they say, chicken salad out of chicken shit. Like, she always did it, and she's had some cool matches. It's like 3-way matches with the bigger women's stars, Charlotte and whatnot, and Rhea and all that. She was in a tag team with Rhea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a place in my heart for Nikki Cross. Like, I'll definitely see her at TNA or the Indies or whatever she does next if she decides to keep wrestling. I know that she's I don't know. I mean, in this game, right? It's a young person's game. She's not, she can't be that fucking old, but like sometimes people do just move on when they're done. But like, I'm a Nikki Cross fan. I'm a Zelina Vega fan.
I guess there's a lot more on the list, but I'll just call out a few more. Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, a terrific tag team. They were always just kind of set up to fail because the tag division in the WWE's main roster has been so lackluster for so many years.
Right.
And I don't really think that that's their fault. Like, they're an amazing tag team. So if they go to AEW, it's going to be great.
They came from TNA most recently, and they were doing indie shows. I got to see them, I think, as an unannounced surprise match at a prestige match at the Globe Theater in LA before they went to WWE. Everyone was super stoked. They're really, I mean, diehard indie fans and stuff love these guys. I feel like the tag team division in WWE also is just so fucking bad. But like, I don't not blame them. I don't think like when they were WWE, like when they got on screen, like I wasn't like, all right, well now they're gonna bring it to this. It was kind of like, fuck. It was like it felt like TNA was on my screen on WWE. Like I was just kind of like, I like it at the indies. I don't really like what you're doing right now. It's not exciting to me.
They don't necessarily feel as over the top as like a Miz or a Danhausen or something. You know, WWE is a lot of over the top characters and they're kind of grounded. So I get it. The last group of people I want to talk about on the list are the people who are all in developmental or LFG. So I know you didn't watch, but Chris Island, Serena Linton, Trill London, and Tyra May Steele. I think there could potentially be one more, but they were all people that got hired as developmental. They were on that show on A&E LFG, and Tyra May Steele even actually won the first season, which got her an NXT contract. So she's being let go. And then 3 other people are being let go. And, you know, all of them like had something. They just like, you know, were learning. They were new. They were like been like a year or maybe 2. So I was kind of bummed to see them go. I'm hoping that they'll figure something out. And then Zoe Stark was another one that hopped out to me because I like Zoe Stark. She's also like had a good run in NXT. Not in black and gold, just like in the last few years, and then came up and then just kind of got saddled with mediocre stuff. She's got a great look. She's a really good in the ring. I don't know. Her promo maybe isn't the best. They put her in that Pure Fusion collective with Shayna Baszler and, oh my God, I can't remember her name. Sonya Deville. Yeah. And that was kind of like whatever. So, and then she got super hurt. She like tore her ACL and her MCL and something else. And then they let her go. She fucking sucks.
Kairi Sane, I'm kind of surprised about that. It seemed like,
yeah, that one too, for sure. Yeah.
Maybe the biggest name on the list. I don't know.
But. Yeah, it is. And, you know, I like Kairi. I think Kairi always sort of gets underutilized, but she had something going with Asuka, and they were clearly building towards her turning on Asuka, which would have been great, and now we don't get to see that. So yeah, I'm bummed about that one as well.
Did you say Santos Escobar and Apollo Crews?
No, I did say Apollo Crews, but I didn't say Santos Escobar. Yeah, and like good cruiserweights, good mid card guys, but I almost never saw them on TV.
I feel like those are like the guys that come out when it's like main event, like but you're at Raw, like
main event, yeah,
like before like the dark match. But like I could have, I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like Apollo Crews is on this list like every fucking year.
He's on it a lot.
They fire that guy and then bring him back in like all the time. But I don't know. You've seen him on it before, right?
No. Oh yeah, for sure. He definitely feels like I feel like he's been let go at least 2 other times.
Yeah, so that's it's the door's always open, right? Like they let you go, and then they, you know, it's probably just I don't know. I don't know how the business works. I shouldn't speculate, but I imagine like they offer you a contract, your management plays hardball. They're like, you know what? Let's cool this guy off and just see what happens next year.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I bet that could happen.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's a business.
Sometimes I don't really know. I know from the music business with friends that sometimes they leave labels and come back. Like sometimes that's what it is. It's like, oh, you kind of think you're hot shit.
Sure, you just got to kind of let cooler heads prevail for a minute.
Yeah, you think you've got. Oh well, I did this, so I want this much for the next record, and they're like, let's see what he does if we drop him. And then a few years later, everyone's like, hey, let's make a record. You know, so
right.
Maybe it's like that. I don't know, but I do see a lot of people returning here and there. Oh, shit, we're already 15 minutes in. We haven't even talked about WrestleMania. All right, so you went to WrestleMania Night 1. I went to WrestleMania Night 2 on a last minute, just sort of on a whim flight thing. I overdosed on my GLP-1, so I was fucking throwing up. I was trying not to take it. I saw a picture of myself, felt fat. decided to take a huge dose where my body wasn't used to it. So I'm throwing up at night. I get on the plane anyways. I'm throwing up the whole way. Brock Lesnar is retiring. I'm throwing up in a cup, trying to fucking not let the guy next to me realize that I'm puking while I'm watching this. And I left before the main event. How was your WrestleMania?
Oh my God, dude. We have to have a discussion off podcast about your GLP-1 usage.
Hey, dude, this is the good shit, man. The rants are the good shit.
Well, take it easy, all right? You're not fat. You just take it easy.
Thanks, man.
All right. So my night one, I had fun. We had really great seats. We were sitting in the risers, like a little bit on the non-hard cam side, a little bit left of the ring. It was fun. I had never been to a WWE premium live event in a stadium before, so definitely was an experience in that regard. It just, as much fun as I had, it just kind of reinforced the fact that this is very much a television product, because there's just so much that I missed being there live because I can't see everything.
Seriously, like I rewatched the one I was at and I was like, this is all the shit they say to each other in the ring and like the explanation of the announcers. Like, it is cool to have the memory of like I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a better product on TV.
Yeah. So, I guess for me, night one, my favorite matches, I guess, honestly, dude, I think I had the most fun during the first match, the 6-man tag, the Usos and LA Knight against the Vision and IShowSpeed, just because the crowd was really hyped and everyone was having fun, and IShowSpeed doing his big splash was cool. I mean, the loudest anybody was the entire night was when Paige came out as a surprise to cover for Nikki Bella. And when they won, that was probably the biggest pop of the night. Otherwise, I was honestly a little disappointed. Like, Gunther and Seth was good for sure. Cody and Randy was okay, but like, I didn't like the way that the match ended. It just didn't kind of make a ton of sense to me, especially what happened after the bell. I feel like your night was the better night overall because of Uba and Brock. I actually really liked the ladder match. I thought the ladder match was really good for that type of match.
The ladder match was cool. Like when I was on the airplane on the way back, everyone flying back from Vegas to Los Angeles was coming from there, and there was like this mom who like didn't. It wasn't really my thing, It's more of the boys' thing. That ladder match, it was like watching Tom and Jerry. And she's just like, her kids won't shut the fuck up. And she's just carrying on about how much wrestling sucks on a fucking airplane full of people wearing like championship belts and like coming back from WrestleMania. I was like, bitch, that one was pretty good. What are you talking about? But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and if you like it, that really means something, because you hate those kinds of matches.
Yeah, it's not normally my thing, but I had fun. I mean, I don't know. There was like somebody got like fucking DDT'd off of like out of like thin air off the top of the goddamn ladder and shit. Like, it was cool.
Oh yeah, no, there was a bunch of great shit. JD McDonough loves taking crazy bumps. He took that Mexican destroyer on the ladder that was, in between the other ladder and the turnbuckle. Yeah. But favorite match of the whole weekend for me was the main event of night 2. I thought that Punk versus Roman was amazing, and not just the match itself, but the entrances. In particular, Punk's entrance like gave me goosebumps all over my fucking body because they played Miseria Cantare. And I just felt like they told a really great story with that match. Like, it was very much a WWE main event in that a lot of like, it was slow and deliberate with a lot of big stuff happening, but it also wasn't like they were just trading finishers the whole time, like a lot of these main events can sometimes be,
Right.
Like there was a flow to this thing, and I didn't know who was going to win. So I was genuinely like, oh my God, like, oh, I can't believe he kicked out or whatever, because I wanted Punk to win. But I thought it was a great main event. I'm happy that Punk finally got his singles night 2 main event as a champion. I'm sure he was thrilled. I'm pretty sure I saw when they're in the ring, like talking shit to each other, quote unquote, they're really just like complimenting each other. And I'm pretty sure I saw Roman be like, I've been waiting for this my entire life, but he's got a mean mug on his face. I'm sure Punk was probably like, dude, thank you so much. Like, I'm so fucking happy to be doing this. And you could tell they put their heart and their souls into that match. And it was one of the best main events I've seen in a long time at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was a great match. I agree, and I do feel like I got nothing to add. It was quite a masterpiece, and even though I only saw the entrances and stuff, and the initial lockup in person, I watched it on ESPN Plus, and that was probably the way to watch it. Honestly, anyways, I mean, I got the as sick as I was, I got the environment and the feeling of him coming out to AFI and all that shit. So that was cool.
WrestleMania 10, March 20th of 1994 in Madison Square Garden. In attendance of 18,065 fans, we had Jerry the King Lawler and Vince McMahon on commentary. And throughout the entirety of this event, we got a number of little clips celebrating the previous WrestleManias. So as the show opened, we got a package, celebrating WrestleMania 1. We saw little moments from that show, which we covered on our last episode. So it's all very fresh in our minds. But as the show goes on, these little moments are peppered throughout the event. So you get a clip from WrestleMania 2, 3, 4, 5, et cetera, all the way up to 9. Vince is in the ring introducing Little Richard, who sings America the Beautiful. And first verse was a little tame, Little Richard making some funny noises in between the words.
It was pretty shitty at the beginning. I was like, whoa, like Mean Gene when he did his, this is way worse than Mean Gene.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And this episode has been brought to you by Weber for Law, your tag team partner when life body slams you out of nowhere. If you've been injured in an accident, motorcycle, car, dog bite, slip and fall, or even if you've been hit in the head with a flying steel chair, these are the guys to call. They've got knockout reviews on Google, a killer track record, and they always fight for the win. I can testify to that personally. Weber for Law took care of me, and they will take care of you too. Don't wait. Visit weberforlaw.com. That's WEBER, the number 4, law.com. Or call 818-502-9200. That's 818-502-9200. Weber for Law, your tag team partner when life body slams you out of nowhere. Yeah,
a little better. Yeah, Mean Gene was doing better than Little Richard at first, but I will say I thought the second verse was really good. Everything kicked in. He was actually singing. I'm a sucker for a choir, and then there's a choir around the entire ring, all singing with him. So it was cool.
Yeah, a church choir, and it's like once he hit his actual range, it was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
they had the robes, all that stuff. Like it was full on. It was cool. But I was like, holy shit! Like what happened? Like I didn't know Little Richard was so bad at singing. I thought that was his job.
He just, you look at him. I mean, it's 1994. I don't know when he passed away, but like he's not young. Like he's probably in his 50s at this point at a minimum.
Jerry Lawler asked, is that his real voice or is his underwear too tight? So we get to get into the Jerry Lawler quips pretty quickly.
Oh boy, yeah, there's so many Lawlerisms in this one. I wrote down a few of them. I couldn't avoid it. But after Little Richard's performance, we get into the first match of the night, which is Bret versus Owen Hart. And so obviously Bret and Owen have feuded before this. And the reason why they're facing each other is part of a larger story. And this is one of the reasons why I actually think this is an interesting WrestleMania as a whole, is because there's actually a lot of stories that feed into this WrestleMania. Some even go almost a year back. So like it's cool because that doesn't always happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into Bret and Owen. Surprise, surprise. It's a terrific match. I don't think we would be shocking anybody by saying this. I don't know that Bret has ever really had a bad match. And I think that when I think about Owen, it's pretty much the same. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a bad Owen match either.
Yeah, Owen's amazing. And this is the first brother versus brother WrestleMania match. A look of determination on the kisser of the hitman, Vince says as he walks to the ring. We've got black and gold ropes. You know, WrestleMania 10 kind of had a black and gold theme. It's sort of iconic at this point.
Yeah.
Jerry ripping on Helen Hart as always.
He does like to do that.
Her hearing aids, her eyesight, pretty brutal on her. But yeah, they Owen's in the shadow. That's what I remember when I was a kid. Owen's always like, I'm tired of being in the shadow of Bret,
of my older brother,
older brother. But he is really good. I mean, he's in a lot of ways. I guess he's more aerial than Bret. But they work similar. And he's working on Bret's knee. I guess Bret hurt his knee on an over-the-top crossbody to the outside, and then Owen sort of like honed in on that for the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like the vast majority of the match, they've got the crowd right where they want them, like pretty much at all times. As I was watching it, I was like, man, this match is so good. I feel like this is one of the ones that the coaches and the trainers at the performance center like show the kids to teach them, because like there's nothing wrong with this match at all.
It felt like they were working a main event to me. I wrote, and I have it in my notes. I was like, where is this fucking WrestleMania going? Because it feels like they're doing main event shit with the back and forth and the sharpshooters and figure four variants, and there's a low blow, Owen's working heel. It's like, it just feels like not just come out of the gate and give us lots of running around in action. It felt like a story, happening.
Yeah, and they're like, it felt like a follow this motherfuckers kind of thing,
Yeah.
There was one moment that actually surprised me for being 1994. Owen hit Bret with a tombstone pile driver and then didn't pin him. And then he went up to the top rope to do a headbutt, and then Bret rolls out of the way. And I was like, huh. There were actually some other match had a pile driver too, where I was like, oh, wow. Because like back then, I always felt like if somebody did a pile driver, like it's over. They pin you and you're not getting up from it. But I think I saw some other match had one too. So I was kind of surprised by it. But like I was saying, they had technically this feud between them started in Survivor Series 1993 of the previous year. They were on the same team, and Owen was fighting. Bret was like outside on the apron, and Owen ran into him by accident while he was trying to bounce off the ropes, and that caused Owen to get eliminated. And then he got pissed at Bret, and he was demanding that he had a match with him. Bret was like, no, I'm not going to fight my brother under any circumstances, or whatever he says. And then they kind of make up. Then they have a match with each other on the same team against the Quebecers at Royal Rumble of 94. And then the same kind of thing happens again. Like Bret kind of hurts himself, and the referee ends the match because of the injury, and Owen gets pissed and like attacks him. I think it's the knee actually that comes into play in the match here at WrestleMania. So there's actually a lot of buildup to this, and I appreciate that we got to see it in a little video package, but also like reading about it before I watched the event was like, oh yeah, this makes it more interesting,
Yeah. So the finish was Owen reversing the pin.
Bret was on his shoulders. Yeah, he was on his shoulders, and it looked like Bret was going to do like a sunset pin kind of thing where but Owen like was able to roll him up and kind of reverse that.
Yeah, it was like Owen sat down in the middle of that move, of that roll up.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a lucky pin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very smooth. It was like it was a surprising win.
Yeah, I don't know if it gives Bret an out, but like it didn't seem like, oh my god, he beat Bret down and then sat down and got the pin. It was kind of like, dude, like in the middle of a move, you just scored a lucky 3 seconds. So Owen is so rabid with the white shit all over his mouth, and I remember I don't think it was just this match. I think he would froth up at the mouth in other matches, because it's kind of something that's stuck in my mind of Owen. And he's backstage after he won, and so like, I beat my brother, like whatever. and it's just
He's
that
got his
gunk.
white little, I don't know what it is.
That white gunk is still all over his fucking face. It's like comes out of the corner of his mouth and just hangs out there. So no, but it's good.
I gotta say, if Dave Meltzer didn't give this at least a 3.5, I'm gonna campaign that we never listen to Dave Meltzer again.
Okay, so we have the Dave Meltzer star rating. Dave Meltzer, of course, of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who's been reviewing wrestling matches since before Aaron and I were even alive. He gave it a 1 point. No, I'm just kidding. He gave it a 4.25 stars. So almost.
Thank God, or else I was gonna have to start calling it the Wrestling Observer Poo's letter.
Poo letter. Yeah. No, he gave it almost a perfect match, almost a perfect rating. So
okay, good, because it deserves it. It deserves it.
Yeah, and then we get, of course, some WrestleMania 2 replay clips, whatever. They're gonna do that. I guess we don't got to announce each one.
Yeah, you don't. I don't think we need to.
But then Howard Finkel comes out with hair. He's doing the hair club for men. I don't think he was. I think that was fake.
No,
right?
it was a toupee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but that's just kind of a sign of the time. The hair club for men guy comes out. He's not just the president. He's also
Cy Sperling is his name.
He's also a client. Yeah, Sperling. Cool.
Yeah, it was a toupee. Yeah.
Yes. And then the second match was Bam Bigelow and Luna Vachon versus Doink, the Ray Apollo version of Doink, and Dink, the little person Doink.
Yes.
So this one was mixed tag, but not really. Mixed tag is normally a man and a woman versus a man and a woman, and the women can fight each other, the men can fight each other. If you tag your partner, the other person's partner has to come in. There's no cross-gender fighting. But I feel like this is kind of like what the old timers will say, like, well, we got a match with two people, a midget and a woman. It's like
Jesus.
the two non-people, they can fight each other. So a little satire. This isn't me saying it.
I know. Yes,
I'm just saying. I can see this in a smoky old wrestling office. So, all right. So this little person and Luna Vachon can fight each other, which
right.
I wouldn't put any grown man against Luna Vachon, honestly. But
and certainly wouldn't put Bam Bam up against Dink.
And I wouldn't put Doink against fucking Bam Bam. I don't know. This whole thing is wonky.
Yeah. So, but this is another one. This is actually another one that had a feud since like fall of 1993. I guess if you call Doink annoying Bam Bam with pranks a feud, then it counts as a feud. But like he threw water on him, he threw confetti on him, he tripped him with a broom. It's just he was constantly harassing Bam Bam, and this is something interesting. There was a match booked for Survivor Series 93, but Doink didn't compete because in real life, Matt Bourne, the person who was playing Doink at the time, got fired from the WWE for drug problems. So that was why we weren't seeing the Matt Bourne version of Doink in this match, because Matt Bourne had already gone bye-bye.
Dink runs around in circles a lot and slaps Luna on the ass.
Yeah, it's not very good. I guess it's entertaining in its own way, I suppose, and I like Bam Bam, but this isn't much of a match.
There was a lot of like top rope misses. Like like people get out of the way and Bam Bam lands off the top rope onto the ground and stuff like that. It was dumb, but
the kids liked it. The crowd liked it. Like, who am I to poo on the party, right? Like, you can hear the kids in the crowd like enjoying this match.
I feel like if you're ever in a tag team, you should find Dink, because you could be Fink and Dink.
Yeah, Dink and Fink, dude.
Yeah, that has a good a good ring to it.
Oh yeah.
I just thought of that. I accidentally wrote Fink doing tons of antics, but
it's Dink, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, there might be something to this.
I assume that other people do this, but sometimes I'll give my dog a middle name that is just like whatever is happening in my life. So she's Libby. When I was watching this, she's Libby Dink Fink.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I do that all the time. I have Ryan two middle names. Like I think we all do. But
I think we all
the finish was who gives a fuck? Dink and Doink won somehow, and
no, they didn't. The heels won.
Okay, well, who gives a fuck? Big Bam Bam, and little Luna Vachon, they win, and there's post match fighting.
I assume that's a dud or a 1 from Dave.
That is a 1 from Dave. And then fake Bill Clinton appears. This guy who plays fake Bill Clinton was pretty good.
I mean, he looked like him, but dear God, like, this is terrible. They pretend that this guy is Bill Clinton and he is a lookalike, but like he's so very clearly not Bill Clinton, and they're all trying to pass it off like it is. And I'm just like, this is dumb, dude.
Because you have you're trying to make it feel kind of, maybe you're not. If you're Vince McMahon in 1994, you're just going straight up like acid trip, I guess. But no one thinks that's Bill Clinton. So it's really weird that you're interviewing him seriously like he's the president. But it's weird that you have like a wrestler who's also working for the IRS.
There's a lot of weird things about 1994 WWF, I suppose.
But the third match came shortly after Randy Savage versus Crush. Crush was not in Demolition at this point. He was just the Hawaiian big guy.
Yeah, and it was Falls Count Anywhere, but it was a weird Falls Count Anywhere, which I had never seen before. So the way this one works is a fall can happen anywhere, of course. But once it does, the person who was pinned has 60 seconds to get back into the ring. I'd never seen that before.
So I have problems with this because when you have 60 seconds to get back in the ring and you've just been pinned, beat down, the other guy should just hold him there. Like, why
continue beating them?
Yeah, continue beating him. But like, they don't say like if he touches him, the 60 seconds restarts. And in fact, later in the match, the way it ends is someone like eventually ties up the other guy so he can't get back in, touching him. So there was no there was a logic problem with this match. But what would happen is they do the fall, like Crush gets the first fall, and then Savage runs into the ring and sort of is proud of himself.
With 1 second left. Yeah, they really milk that first one for sure.
Yeah, but I mean the second one, Savage gets a second fall. So Crush, wait, no, hold on.
Yeah, you had it right.
Yeah, Savage gets the second fall, right? And they milk that one to the last second too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Crush is on the outside, like pretty close to the ring, but it takes him a long time to get back.
Right, but eventually Savage ties Crush's legs in the back.
They're outside, way outside the ring. Yeah, they're like backstage at this point, right?
Some scaffold. He's tied him up and sort of, heists him. And so, like, there's just no way his legs are in the sky, like, and he can't return. Good strategy. Just kind of confusing about the rule. This one was a 15-minute match, 3 stars from David Meltzer, and it was fine.
Meltzer.
I mean, it was interesting. What'd you say?
The fact that you called Dave Meltzer David makes me
David
laugh.
Meltzer, yeah. David Flair, David San Martino.
Well, only his mother calls him David.
David Meltzer.
Yeah, this match was okay. I mean, crowd loved Macho Man at this point. They were happy to see him win. So, huzzah.
Did you see the Fan Fest clips from the 90s? That was like super nostalgia buzz for me.
Yeah, that was what I was just going to talk about. So after this match, Todd Pettengill interviewed fake President Clinton. Shit is bad. I'm skipping over it. But then we got a cool recap video of Fan Fest, which seems like it was another early incarnation of what we see today as WWE World. You take pictures with people from the WWF, you get autographs, you buy shit, you doink in a dunk tank. It seemed like it would be pretty fun, to go to, just like it seems like WWE World would be fun to go to as well. So it's cool that they were doing something like that back then.
Yeah, they had all the action figures. A lot of those I still have, and that was cool to see just all of them lined up. Like, it gave me that weird little dopamine rush of like, I gotta go get those. And I was like, what are you gonna do with them? You already have them, dude. Like, they're in the closet. Like, what are you gonna do with those? But it reminded me of like being 10 years old, or however old. I guess I was 12 here or something. But yeah, very good little dose of I had more of a nostalgia buzz from FanFest clips than than some of these matches. But the fourth match is Alundra Blaze versus Leilani Kai. It's funny, I don't remember these people that much, even though I've seen them live back in the day. They're always on the bill, but like women's matches back then, like weren't very good and weren't very much highlighted and didn't really have storylines and feuds. And, they just weren't really given. This is a 3-minute match. They weren't given a lot of time. The women's title is like tiny and dinky. It looks like a toy belt from like the merch stands that you get now when you don't want to buy the full size one, Lawler is like ripping on Alundra Blaze. $1 million body, 10-cent face.
Yep, that was the one I wrote down. I could not believe how offensive that was, but I did laugh at it because of how degrading it was.
He says he carries on. She could star in westerns if she had 2 more legs.
Jesus,
calls her a horse. Blaze wins easily. The women, I guess, women's wrestling just doesn't really exist in WWE at this point.
But honestly, dude, this was leaps and bounds better than the match we just watched from WrestleMania 1 with Leilani Kai and Wendy Richter. Like,
yeah,
I could actually say that even though it was 3 minutes long, this might have been better than some of the Attitude Era matches we watched.
Did we see Leilani? Well, at least they're not just being completely sexually exploited without any wrestling. The Attitude Era is more like bra and panty type matches. Like literally they're called that, where it's like, fucking spanking each other's asses and stuff. But like Leilani Kai, was she in Collision in Korea?
No, that was Bull Nakano and some other people.
Bull is actually like could go.
Yeah, Bull Nakano, all the people in all the women in Collision in Korea could all go. That was a good match for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, I thought this was a short but very solid women's match for the time. Like you can't, it doesn't hold a candle to anything that we've seen from like 2002 onward. But like when I compare Leilani to Leilani from WrestleMania 1, it's like, wow, this was an actual match. Like there was strategy and stuff. And even though it was slow, like there were some moves, like it just felt like there was more, it was more of an athletic competition.
Well, David disagrees. He gave it a 1.5 star.
Yeah, whatever. After this match, we saw, television star Rhonda Shear in the back with Todd Pettengill talking for a minute until Shawn Michaels interrupts and shoos Todd away. And then he starts to flirt with Rhonda a little bit, doing his Heartbreak Kid thing. And he's like, oh yeah, I brought a photographer for our photo shoot, this impromptu photo shoot that he wants to have with her. And then Burt Reynolds shows up and shoves the camera guy away and then basically tells Shawn Michaels to go fuck himself so that he can hook up with Rhonda instead.
Does Rhonda Shear like mean anything to you in a nostalgia sense?
I'm too young for that.
So Rhonda Shear was the host of USA's Up All Night. And I don't know who the fuck she was before that. She was old back then. To be like she looked like an aging like adult actress, she's not really, her tits are out. I don't know how else to say it the whole night. And she's introducing she's introducing these shitty like B movies on USA. So I feel like when you're young, if you stay up to like midnight or 2 a.m. and you're watching movies, it's like feels like your own kind of space in the world. Like you kind of, I know it's just TV, but you feel like you're kind of hanging out like with the host and like
hanging out with Rhonda and her boobs.
You've kind of like stumbled across your own weird little trip. TV got weird at night. Like,
yeah,
MTV 120 minutes and USA's Up All Night. And like, you're just watching, like, you're like, you guys know you programming dumb shit, but then you have Rhonda like kind of mocking the dumb shit in between. And she's she's dressed like she's in her 20s and she's in her like she's like 50 fucking years old or whatever. And she does this like little girl voice that she's clearly not a little girl. And it was like fucking weird. And I love to see her again. I was like, oh my God, Rhonda, like, fuck yeah. Like, I can't believe you're on WrestleMania. I digress. The match was Men on a Mission versus the Quebecers for the tag titles. The Quebecers were the tag champions, right? No.
They were, yeah. The Quebecers were the tag champs. Men on a Mission was Mabel and Mo. They had Oscar with them. Came out doing little 90s hip hop thing. And the Quebecers had Johnny Polo, who is, I'm assuming you noticed that was Raven.
Yeah, I did notice. I was like, oh shit. I remember Raven from my childhood and I didn't even realize it. You know,
like he's Johnny Polo, man.
Yeah.
So this was, I don't know, this was fine. It was a very traditional tag match. The crowd was definitely into it. I felt like anytime Mabel did anything, the crowd was super into it. Mabel is who we later see in WWF in the Attitude Era with the horrible name Viscera.
Ew. Yeah, disgusting.
Terrible name. But this was, it was like nothing to write home about, but it also wasn't bad either. I didn't like the way it ended.
The ref sucked. The ref didn't see anything. Like, it was just, he was like it was just a dopey ref. But
there was a bunch of distraction type stuff at the end. And then one of the Quebecers got counted out. So Men on a Mission win, but they don't get the belts. And I thought it was really weird because they cut to, a very wide shot of them in the ring and they're celebrating with the crowd because they won. And I'm pretty sure they had the belts with them, like in their hands, celebrating as if they won the belts, but they clearly didn't.
They grabbed the belts and they didn't even really explain like they normally do. Like, you can't win the belts on a count out. They're just kind of like, you know what? No one gives a shit. They're just happy that they sung Whoomp, there it is. Watching all those little kids in the ring being like bucktooth little fucking white kids being like, whoop, that is, was like so fucking embarrassing. But like, that would have been me if I was there. The Quebecers suplexing Mabel, he's so fucking big. Like, they really sold it like they weren't going to be able to do it, and then they did, and I thought that was impressive. Was Donnie Wahlberg the guest commentary on this thing?
Yeah, so after this match, actually, what did Dave give this one?
2.5 stars, which I think it was surprisingly decent for the amount of gimmicks. So I'll go with Dave on that.
It was fine. There honestly was nothing wrong with it. The crowd was invested. Like, it was an average match, 2.5. Yeah. So yes, something big is about to happen because Rhonda Shear and Donnie Wahlberg come out. Rhonda is the guest timekeeper. Donnie is going to be the guest announcer. And Donnie announces that there's a special guest referee for the next match, and it's Mr. Perfect. So this is,
What? We've seen Perfect be a guest ref before.
We have, yes. And we've seen him wrestle too, obviously. So, he's dressed in pinstripes from head to toe, the referee pinstripes. And, this is Lex Luger versus Yokozuna for the WWF Championship.
And Donnie Wahlberg is, like you said, he's doing the guest he announced them, right?
Yeah, he's just doing the announcing. So, so go ahead.
Well, I just want to say, like, he's so put on. Like, he's from Boston, Mark Wahlberg's brother from New Kids on the Block and his bad boy persona, but like, he has a Boston accent. He's appropriating like some weird ass fucking like accent that is like not cool. Like, it's so embarrassing. I see him now on Very Scary People because I watch the ID Network, and I think he married like Jenny McCarthy and does this like shitty like crime show but I like shitty crime shows. And he talks like a normal person now, but like whatever he was doing back then was like so
in affectation.
He was trying hard, man.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So, okay, let me get into a little bit of backstory here because now we're finally we're about to talk about the first WWF Championship match. I feel like we should talk about the story of how we got here. So, the whole WWF Championship storyline really started at the Royal Rumble of this year of 1994. The final two wrestlers were Lex Luger and Bret Hart, and they simultaneously eliminated each other. Not going to be the last time we see something like this happen, whether on purpose or not, who knows. But so they eliminated each other at the same time. Two referees couldn't figure out who the winner was. So the president of the WWF at the time, Jack Tunney, declared Luger and Hart both as the winners. And as a part of that, he said that they would both get a WWF championship match at WrestleMania. And that both wrestlers would have to wrestle two matches for the pay-per-view. So that's what originally was announced. But then later, Jack Tunney was like, okay, we're going to do a coin toss, and here's how it's going to go. If Luger wins the coin toss, he gets to face Yokozuna first, and Bret Hart has to wrestle his brother Owen. And then he would face whoever wins, Luger, Yokozuna. But if Bret Hart wins the coin toss, he gets the first shot, and Luger has to wrestle Crush before he wrestles the winner, Bret and Yoko. So they have this coin toss. Luger wins the coin toss, so he gets to face Yokozuna first. And Luger and Yoko had a feud that went back almost an entire year. It first began at the Yokozuna Body Slam Challenge aboard the USS Intrepid, which I'm sure a lot of people would recognize if they saw it, because it's like a very famous thing that they showed over and over and over all the time, where Mr. Fuji was like, no American could ever body slam Yokozuna. And a bunch of people try. Luger shows up by helicopter onto the fucking aircraft carrier. He slams Yoko. And that is what
doesn't know that we're not in World War II at that point. Lex Luger just won the Second World War for America in the 90s.
He just loves pitting American heroes against foreigners, evil foreigners.
Yeah.
So
even though Japan, I think, was our ally still at that point. But anyway, fuck it.
Yeah. So this whole thing, the body slamming Yoko thing, begins what was considered a pretty strong push for Lex Luger. He gets a match with Yoko for the championship at SummerSlam of 93, and he wins, but he wins by countout. So he doesn't win the title. After he doesn't win the title, he's like, I want another shot, blah, blah, blah. But then he decides he's going to enter in the Rumble. And so then, we are where we are now with the coin toss and shit. Yokozuna is accompanied by Mr. Fuji and our pal Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette is wearing a black and gold tux. The gold is sequined gold, and it's not just a regular tux. It's like the one with the fucking tails on the jacket,
It never looked better. I mean, that was quite a look. That was probably Jim Cornette's most over-the-top outfit that he's worn on television.
Yeah, and the tennis racket was also gold, too.
Yes, it was pretty amazing. I kind of want that outfit. I want to put it on like a little mannequin.
A mannequin and just have it in your house. Yeah. So Lex Luger gets a huge pop when he comes out. He's definitely over at this time. He's wearing the American flag trunks, the American flag knee pads. The crowd is chanting USA.
Jerry Lawler says, Lex Luger thinks red, white, and blue is the American way. The American way is putting Arabian oil in Japanese cars. And that's the way it is.
That was my other one that I wrote down, dude. That was so good too. I was like, man,
yeah,
I liked it. So as to the actual match, to me, pretty standard match for both of these guys. The crowd is very loud. They're very active. They're very into it. I personally did not like this match all that much because I felt like Yokozuna has Lex Luger down on the mat with what appears to be a Vulcan death grip, like 3 times over the course of the match for over 5 minutes.
Yeah, this match sucked. This was terrible. Lex kind of slams Yoko, but Lawler calls it a hip toss, and it was he didn't get him all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Yokozuna just laying there with his fucking hand on Lex's trapezius.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad. I don't know.
Here's the thing about that. Okay, like the first time that they do this with the death grip thing on the trapezius, when Luger starts to get out of it, like the crowd reacts and it works. But the second and third time, they don't. So you should have fucking figured it out after the second time where you did the same thing and it didn't work, that you shouldn't do it a third time. You know what I mean?
No, dude, I agree completely. Lex attacks Fuji and Cornette. Luger shoves Perfect because he's mad that Perfect isn't paying attention and counting for him. And instead of Perfect, sort of coming to and counting for Luger, he just DQs his ass, fuck you, I'm the ref. Crowd chants bullshit. Lex storms backstage pissed. I feel like Lex Luger, the problem was, he wasn't getting over as a babyface. He wasn't interacting well with the crowd, with the fans, from what I hear. He was on the Lex Express before he lost at SummerSlam to Yokozuna that year, and it was a rib. Vince was saying if he sort of had the grit to be put on a fucking bus and driven across the country to every single Raw that he had to work, and Luger is just pissed. There's videos of him just pissed off on that bus, and there's videos of him supposed to be signing autographs, and people are like, I loved you in WCW, and he's like, I don't want to fucking hear about WCW. That's the minor leagues. Like, he had a bad attitude.
Yeah.
And
well, he was taking roids, dude. He had roid rage.
He was mad, and Vince didn't feel like he wanted him to be the guy, and he realized he wasn't the guy. And this was kind of sort of, there'd be really not much left of Lex after this. You just kind of quietly go to the mid card.
No, he shows up. Well, I think he leaves for WCW very soon after this. I don't know exactly when, but yeah.
Right. I was looking it up. Like, there were matches, but there was like random mid card stuff, and then I think by 1995 he was on Nitro. So
he's just gone. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot to it. We get a segment after. Oh wait, hold on. Dave Meltzer agrees with us on this. He gave it a 1 1/2 star, which is maybe. I mean, yeah, it
feels about right. It feels about right.
There's a bonus match. Harvey Whippleman comes out, insulting Howard Finkel, calling him crazy weird shit like monkey face, banana nose Yankee.
Yeah, don't fuck with the Fink, bro.
Right? From the Fink himself.
Yeah.
Fink shoves him and stands up for himself, and then fucking Adam
gets
Bomb
a pop too. He gets a pop for that.
Yeah, people are proud of him, and everyone loves him. And Adam Bomb shows up. Earthquake comes out, and this Earthquake Adam Bomb match happens out of nowhere.
Yeah,
but the Fink pop was probably the best part of it. And this was, I think, who won? Earthquake.
30-second squash. Yeah,
got the squash win. Yeah. So whatever. That was a dud, according to Dave.
It was a dud. Yeah. It was fun to see Harvey, because every time I see Harvey, I look him up and I forget that he's Downtown Bruno. And Downtown Bruno, Harvey Whippleman was one of the guys that helped a young Dwayne Johnson out when he was like a teenager. And his dad was wrestling in Memphis, I think. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, the Earthquake match was whatever. But the next match, this is the one, folks. This is the match that started it all when it comes to ladder matches. Of course, there had been ladder matches before this, but this was the one.
Dude.
Never this big of a stage and never this good. We've got Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship.
I was kind of starting to fade. Like, I was like, okay, World Heavyweight Championship match was like, like, I was getting into the nostalgia, and then that match was like, and then you got like Earthquake squashing someone. I was like, I guess I'm waiting for like Bret Hart to do another match later. And then I was like, oh shit, Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. This is the one. I was like, I forgot. And all of a sudden I woke up and I was so excited, and it did not disappoint.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Razor Ramon has so much fucking aura. I just can't even believe it. His entrance, he's silhouetted with these orange lights behind him. I was like, man, this guy is so cool. Like, he walks under the ladder all smooth. I love his music. The fucking razor blades on his tights, the chains. I love Razor Ramon.
I fucking love that under the ladder. Like, bad luck. Like, with his arms out, like surfing through.
And Shawn, they actually did a thing where Shawn came out and it looked like maybe he was gonna go under it, but he goes like and then walks around it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so good. Just like Razor has no fear. So the match begins. Diesel interferes pretty early on.
Oh, should we explain the Intercontinental, them both being champions?
Yeah, how they both had belts. Yeah, well, go ahead.
All right, so Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels are both claiming to be the Intercontinental Champion. Shawn Michaels was the Intercontinental Champion, was not beat for the Intercontinental Championship, but from my understanding in real life was having difficulties with his job performance, and they stripped him of the title for real for that reason. Had a tournament. Oh, go ahead.
I think it said, okay, here we go. Now I found my notes. Yeah, so it had been reported back then that they vacated it. They took it off of Shawn because he was refusing to drop it. So like, this is one of those instances where his real life personality and the drug use that he was doing was affecting his work.
I see. And so there was a tournament and Razor Ramon... I started saying things weird on this show. Razor Ramon won the tournament, and he Sean came back and was like, "Who's gonna be the guy?" You know, because
he's like, "I'm the real Intercontinental.
I'm the real champion." Yeah, like you've seen in recent times, CM Punk, the real AEW champ. CM Punk is still the AEW World Heavyweight Championship champion, by the way, in my heart. He's the first person to hold the heavyweight championship in both companies simultaneously. But yes, so Razor and Sean they're going to put the two belts up above the ring, high above the ring. You got to climb up on a ladder and grab both, and that settles it. Who is the real champion?
Yeah. And, so the stage is set.
Yes. Sean has the best mullet of the night. He's got the best mullet of his career. It's not just a mullet. It's very short where it counts and very long where it counts.
Very wavy too. Definitely put some waves in his hair for this. So anyway, the match begins pretty normal. They're hitting each other stiff, and within like a minute or two, Razor's on the outside, Diesel attacks him, and then referee Earl Hebner was like, you know what, Diesel, get the fuck out of here. I'm making you leave. And actually kind of surprised me, because there aren't any rules in a ladder match, or at least I didn't think that there was. But
they said the only rules are there are no rules. But now, they got rid of Diesel.
So, on the one hand, it's like, okay, I don't love that you kind of like went back on yourself. But on the other hand, it makes the match more fair and we get what we get. So, the match continues. And like I was saying, they hit each other real hard for certain things, like their clotheslines over the top rope. And I would have to imagine that it has something to do with the fact that during this time, and I assume afterwards, they were really great friends. And obviously that isn't a surprise to anybody in 2026. But I feel like when you know that, you can kind of see why their matches were so good, because they didn't really care about hitting each other too hard, doing risky things or anything like that, because they knew that the other one could take it. They were friends. They knew it would make them both look better and make the match better. So they were going at each other real hard.
It felt so dangerous, but not in the way that modern ladder matches feel dangerous, because modern ladder matches today are stunt shows. And we want that. We want to see like the craziest stunt. But this was just like dangerous of just like, they're going to fucking fall off this ladder. They're hitting each other for real. They're like hitting each other so hard with the ladder. Like it did feel violent. And I think that's awesome. I mean, no one got hurt for real, I assume. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
do they only have one ladder? The fucking like.
They only had one ladder.
Nowadays you have different size ladders under the ring, more ladders. There was just one red ladder, one iconic red ladder.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about this match is how well paced it is, because the ladder isn't immediately in use. Once the ladder comes into play several minutes into the match, things really start getting amped up. And the important thing to remember when watching this match is that everything you're seeing, while familiar to you, is the first time that most people are seeing these things. So like the ladder being used as a weapon in all of the various ways that they're using it, it's literally the first time that it's being shown this way on a large stage, something as large as WrestleMania. So like if you think about it in that context, this match is fucking insane.
But the crazy thing is you don't even have to think about it in that context, because that's crazy. But this fucking thing is so good that like in my notes I wrote when it finally like ended after like 20 minutes, I was like, and I don't write this on most matches, I was like, I want to watch this for an hour. Like I don't want this to end. Like that's fucking weird. I mean, that is rare when you watch this much wrestling. Like I have seen all the ladder matches recently. I'd seen one, this week or whatever live, but like I still fucking wanted it to keep going. So so they had the benefit of like, I've never seen anything like this, and the quality of this match. And I don't know, there's some comic relief. Sean's ass is fully out at one point, and he lets it hang out there for a while, like
and does an elbow with his ass out.
Because Razor's trying to get him off the ladder, and he pulls the back of his pants out, but Sean doesn't do anything to pull up his pants for a while, and that's pretty funny. And The ladder does
takes-
get bent eventually, like mid-match, and you're kind of like, how is this going to work? You've only got one ladder. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, it's just full of big moments. The first big moment to me of the match was Shawn sets up the ladder in the corner. He climbs the top rope and then climbs on the ladder and does a splash. It's not from the top of the ladder, but he is on a rung that is at least a couple feet higher than the top turnbuckle. So it looks just like this huge thing, and the way they shoot it low, like it just looks so big. And this match is full of big moments and first times. Almost everything they do with the ladder gets a reaction. Like literally just hitting somebody, you hear the crack. Oh, like it's just amazing. It tells you everything you need to know. Like they could do no wrong in this match. There's tons of back and forth. The ultimate end of the match is they're struggling on the ladder together. Shawn gets knocked off and like lands on his nuts on the top rope, and then falls over, gets his foot trapped in between the ropes. Then he gets his arm trapped between the ropes, and there's just not enough time for him to get back to the ladder. Razor pulls down both the belts and falls off of the ladder to the ground, and that's the end of the match. He's the winner.
It's amazing. And Dave Meltzer agrees. He gave it a 5-star, which I don't know. Maybe we've seen that on this show before.
Maybe once.
But if it happened, I don't remember exactly when, and it's super rare. A 5-star match from Dave Meltzer, the best match of the night for sure. Main event after that, Bret Hart is back, this time versus champion Yokozuna, WWF Championship, with special ref Roddy Piper. We have some celebrities. We got Jenny Garth as the timekeeper. We got Burt Reynolds as the ring announcer. Bret's getting destroyed pretty early on. Yoko's giving him kind of the similar treatment he gave Lex, but he's tossing him around back and forth and, holding on to his trapezius a bit. But
but Bret always mounts a little comeback, always seems to get closer and closer. And again, crowd's super invested. They really want to see Yoko lose. I thought it was a good match for what it was. It's only about 10 minutes long. But like I said, you watch a Bret Hart match, and it's pretty hard to say that it's a bad match. And I don't think that this one is. I think this is a good match for, Bret has a not so easy assignment working with someone that big. There's only so much you can do, right? But I think it all worked.
Yeah, Bret knows what to do. In this, like, Bret, I guess you'd say fighting from underneath, but what he's kind of doing is letting Yoko beat himself. Like, Yoko wears himself out. Bret moves out of the way. Lets Yoko run into something. Lets Yoko try to bonsai drop. Like, Bret moves out of the way. It's like, just let the big man
tire himself out. It's the rope-a-dope.
Gravity. Yeah. Let the gravity fucking beat him up. And eventually that's what happened. Yoko missed a bonsai drop and Bret pins Yoko. There's no like figure four, or there's no sharpshooter rather, which I don't know if you can really do that on a guy as big as Yoko. But you get a new champion, and Bret or Yoko chases Piper. He's mad, the ref, and Vince declares it a brand new era. He wishes, right? But,
and then we get the celebration of all the baby faces coming out, and Owen comes out and scowls, and
so
that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Here on Grapple City Rewind, we have a 3-tier rating system. We're not doing any of that Dave Meltzer 5-star rating system bullshit. We're getting right down to 3 clear ratings of is it bad, is it all right, or is it good? Fast forward means bad. Play means all right. Rewind means it was really good. Real straightforward here, folks, at the Grapple City Rewind. Keeping with tradition, Aaron chose this particular pay-per-view to watch. So he will be the one telling you his rating first, and I will pick a rating different than him just to be contrarian afterwards. What do you say? What say you, Aaron?
I think that I'm going to give this one a rewind because... First of all, it has what I would say are two of the WrestleMania matches that are like in the top 25 of all time WrestleMania matches.
Yeah.
Owen and Bret and Razor and Shawn. And then everything else was either pretty good or okay or meh. But as a whole, I liked that there were stories. I liked that I felt like there were stakes in this one. I could have done without all the celebrity stuff. That's never really been my jam, but I understand why it was done. So yeah, I think this is a good sub 3 hour WrestleMania, and it's got at least 2 fantastic matches and maybe like 3 or 4, you could say, okay matches. Pretty good. So I'm going to give it a rewind. What say you, sir? Contrarian.
Okay. My take on it. No, I actually totally agree with you on this one. It doesn't really get better than this. No wrestling pay-per-view is like, 5-star matches from top to bottom, the lows, the Doink match, the Luger match. But, I loved all the nostalgia callbacks, and I was really, you had some championship matches but you also had the ladder match to like sweeten the deal. So, that one was, a rewind for me also. Normally here at the Grapple City Rewind, we like to hear from the Grapple Gang. We went a little bit late on this one because of WrestleMania and because we had so much fun talking about WrestleMania 10. So I'm going to skip a little correspondence, but I would like to remind you that we always love to hear from you, the Grapple Gang out there. You can always call 626-657-SLAM.
Pick up a phone.
That'll lead you to our Google voicemail where you can leave a message and let us know what you thought about WrestleMania 10, what you thought the highlights were, and if you were at WrestleMania fucking 42, want to hear your experience with that too. Give us a call, leave us a message. You can also reach out to us across social media. We are at Grapple City Pod. We are also grapplecitypod@gmail.com if you prefer to email. Now, this last pay-per-view we just watched was Aaron's call, so I guess I'm making this next call. I'm thinking, Aaron, we're going to go to next episode. Let's go to a year ahead of this one, to the year 1995.
Okay.
We fast forwarding to 1995 for In Your House 1.
Ooh.
The very first In Your House pay-per-view, which has Diesel versus Sid.
Okay.
Has, let's see, Bret Hart versus Hakushi, Razor Ramon and Jeff Jarrett, JARRETT, double J, Jeff Jarrett, Mabel and Adam Bomb, Owen Hart and Yoko versus the Smoking Guns, Billy Gunn, Jerry Lawler versus Bret Hart. Whoa, that's fucking awesome. Bret Hart's on this thing twice again. I would love to see Jerry Lawler versus Bret Hart. That sounds fun. Diesel versus Sid. Like I said, Owen versus the Bulldog. That's like a brother versus brother-in-law. Bam Bam versus Tatanka. Undertaker versus Kama. This is more like kind of right in my zone, right in my area. Like a lot of the same guys we just watched. And I don't think I've ever seen the first In Your House. I remember when In Your House started coming out, I was like, wait, so it's like WrestleMania Royal Rumble Survivor Series, but like not as cool. Like, it kind of had like a bummer feel, but like I realize now, like In Your House is kind of sick. Some of them were pretty good. So,
yeah, excited to watch it.
So I have high hopes. Hell yeah! Well, good show as always, Aaron. It's always a fun time for me to take a break from this crazy world and watch some old wrestling and to fucking talk about it. That's all the time we got for now. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next time we release an episode. Make sure you get that little notification regardless of whatever platform you're on.
Catch you in the cheap seats. Adios.
Grapple City! Rewind! Rewind!